Okay, so my partner put some force on my body, one high and one low. And just watch the microphone so it doesn't make too much noise. All right, so he touches my feet. He feels my front and back foot, and he just transfers pressure down to my front and back foot. I touch the fascia, and I just find his feet. Now, once I've established, okay, that's his foot. We might just step here again so we can see the feet on the camera. Okay, once I've established a connection to his root, he's established a connection to my root, we can start training. If this isn't established, it's difficult to do internal training because I've got no force inside my body to yield, sink, neutralize, and I have no place to go inside his body. So I want to act like a seesaw where I'm creating a softness within me to pick up his base, and I want to do that with as gentle a stretch as possible. What I don't want to do is muscle him out and push him. I want that force that he's giving me, because his mind and intention is moving into me, I want to soften it down into the elasticity and make my framework like a trampoline that stretches underneath his framework. So there's an elastic stretch on the first stage. So I'm moving muscle and tendon changing. I'm moving from muscle tension in my body to stretching into fascia tension to catch him. I want to do that very lightly. And then I tune that fascia to life force. So as I'm going down, I start playing with this feeling of life force and putting it underneath his base. I want to do that very, very gently so that the component of my mind substance is in union with the feeling of energy, which is being stimulated by my body mechanics of mind, chi, body functioning together. And it's a tuning process. Once I've got there, then I can start slowing down time. What happens when we slow everything down with tuning the breath, 4-cycle breath? We end up in the astral body, or we're strengthening what they call the chi. So I've touched his base, he's touched my base, I drop the hip, stretch the spine, I go to the vital level of touching vitality, and then I just relax into the astral. Now, the rate of transformation is different, so the speed of the rising inside his body is different to vital. Vital you can do as a shock wave. Astral, it'll be much more gentle and buoyant when you work with your partner. Once I've got to the frequency I want to make strong, so let's say I want to train the astral, he gives me more physical pressure down, I stretch it up vitally, and then I move into the astral, and I look at the amount of force that he's giving me has to be consistent, and the reaction that I'm getting from the way I'm thinking and moving gives me a measurement. It allows me to go, okay, his energy is remaining consistent in his connection to my base. Now, if I change a little bit, well, it's not working as well, I move it a bit more, it's a bit stronger, and I can make variations inside my body. Now, what model do I want to use? Do I want to use more of a sinking to bring him up? Or do I want to touch his base and do everything inside him so he doesn't fall into me? If you're a healer, you don't really want to do the Tai Chi polarity because you don't want his energy inside you as a habit. You want to touch, and I want to influence him without letting him come into me. So I just empty out what he gives me and then influence him with energy. Then you go to the next level. Okay, give a bit more force. So press down a bit more, and you start using the springs to train. You're stretching. So I go from the vital and start taking on the astral feeling. And then I might go into going into the mental body, absorbing what I feel into mental space. And it becomes lighter, and I'm capturing his balance. And when I feel his balance in his body, these edges of the balance, I just pull the balance out to the edge and then put pressure on it. And you give vital pressure into the mental body, astral pressure into the mental body, or just pure mental pressure into the mental body to create the effect. Now, you need a few thousand hours of doing any of these exercises to get good at them. And then you maintain or just keep developing the skill moving upwards. It's like going to the gym. If you don't go to the gym, your muscles are going to shrink. Your internal skill shrinks. Your listening skill doesn't shrink that much, but your volume shrinks a lot. So for instance, most of what I'm doing is based on listening skill, not volume. because I don't train volume anymore. I haven't trained since 2004 of building power. But because I'm sensitive, I can touch his body, I can influence, just with my normal vitality, what's happening inside him through the sensitivity. So the more sensitive you are, the less power you need. So we end up doing this with two different paths. We have volume and sensitivity. A lot of healers, they have very, very, very high sensitivity and very low volume. They don't have any internal power, but they can change the information in a person's unconscious mind so that a tumor just shrinks and disappears because the information field changed, the unconscious pattern changed. People do that through sensitivity. So most healers are highly sensitive, and their mind accesses the person's body consciousness, subconscious, superconscious of the spirit, of the unconscious component of the three dantians, of the three bodies, and makes changes. So that's a sensitivity model. Most Qigong practitioners are working sensitivity and volume. They're building power and expressing that power through the sensitivity. So there's more of a balance between sensitivity and power. Your standing practices and your Fajin exercises and your shunting exercises, all the exercises that put stress on the system, go through the stress adaptation. The frequency of your mind when you're adapting to stress is what gets stronger. So if he pushes on me and he gives me a strong forward force and I resist him with my muscles, now my muscles are contracting, my muscles will get stronger. If I put it onto a stretch, now my fascia connections are going to get stronger. If I tune it more to life force and be aware of life force, my life force is going to get stronger. And if I put it into the astral body and he puts stress on my astral body is going to get stronger. So I can build volume by him giving me stress. And that's why he feeds, so I can produce more volume. For the listening, you don't need any feeds at all. All you got to do is touch tension, release tension, your partner moving more through the healing model. What this will do by me doing a little bit of healing work of just feeling my partner and putting some sung into him, and this has an effect on the balance, then I have an unconscious relationship to his energy system. So now if he starts to intend, it's highly reactive. As soon as he starts moving any pressure forward, because I did a bit of healing, I went into his own unconscious energy field. That means his pressure is reacting on him almost instantaneously. That's a byproduct of healing. Now, when we look at all the great masters around the world, if you were to count it out, I bet you 9 out of 10 of those great masters are healers. They're acupuncturists, herbalists, they have acupuncture clinics, they're doing pulse diagnosis, they're feeling people's energy all day and making corrections. Then their mind comes to learning something like Tai Chi and Qigong, goes, oh yeah, I can do that. And they figure it out because they're highly empathic to start with. So these people around the world who are very, very good at Tai Chi and Qigong and demonstrating it, it's because they're either highly empathic or their work is listening skill. They're listening to people's bodies. So if you learn a little bit of healing, you touch tension, you practice releasing, relaxing tension inside your training partners, when you open Jin, it'll hit that same unconscious space of their energy field and affect them. So you can learn very quickly if you do a little bit of healing on your partner before you start. Always remember the basics, that you need some type of connection to their base and they need some type of connection to your base. That you have to yield inside yourself to empty the line, become more grounded than them, and then work with your mechanical framework of what you're doing, whatever model you're doing. If you get this foot-to-foot connection, root-to-root connection when you start, everything's easier. If you've done a bit of healing work with your partner, everything's easier. If you've done the sensitivity training exercises, everything's easier. If you've done the volume training exercise, everything gets easier. So set up all the preconditions for success before you touch your partner. If these preconditions are there, you'll start training, it'll be easy, you'll figure it out and go, oh, that's how I do this. It's all obvious. But if you start without having the foundation of listening exercises, the yielding and base-to-base connection and doing some healing work, get access to their unconscious energetic space, everything will be more difficult. Rather than all the lights just going ding, 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 I got it, I figured it out, there's a type of struggle because the preconditions for success haven't been developed. So those of you who've been to my workshops will notice every workshop we do healing work. And we're not doing healing work because we're nice people and want to heal everybody. Maybe you are a nice person. We're doing healing work because that allows you to be successful in Tai Chi and Qigong. It gives you the access. And great if you're a nice person and want to heal people. I know your own family and kids, if they've got a problem, you're going to go to work on them straight away and fix those problems. But the reason we do it is it's a key element to success in Qigong. If you can't do healing, you're not going to be good at Qigong. If you can't do healing, you're not going to be good at Tai Chi. You've got to touch a person, feel stress and anxiety and problems in their field and empty it. Put song relaxation into it and just dissolve it out of their body. As soon as you've done that to a person once, you've got their phone number. You can dial it up anytime you want. All I have to do is remember when I did healing, now I'm in the subconscious. I'm right inside his energy field. I'm on that frequency. I walk through that door and my energy in my mind is going to affect him because I've done some healing on him before. So study all your preconditions. What are your body mechanics in the system you're working? What is the model you're working? Make sure there's a root-to-root connection. When I touch his root, my mind's extended. When he touches my base, his mind's extended. When his mind is extended, I've got something to work with. If he's centered and grounded, I've got nothing to work with because all his components are stuck inside with closed doors. If he touches my base, the door's open for him to get to my base. That means I've got more access. Make sure you've got sensitivity to fascia, that you can feel the pressure of the fascia. If you've ever played judo, you have this push-pull. You push your partner, he resists, then you pull on the tension and you throw him. It opens the door. The balance pops out when you take pressure off the fascia. Your mental astral matrix do a flux. The door opens for a moment and the balance moves a little bit out of the body before it closes again. So this very, very simple principle that's used in all these different wrestling and judo type arts where you push and pull, we're doing this push-pull through, you touch the fascia, you compress the fascia and you release it. The small amount of compression release, I can feel the door open, close, open, close. So I touch, release, it's open, now I can go through the door. I just know the feeling because the energy travels through feelings. So if you make a sensitivity to a whole range of feelings, this is what his base feels like, this is what the line of tension to his base feels like, this is where he's holding across all the joints in his body, this is where his strength is, this is where his weakness is, this is where the holes in his aura are, this is where there's high pressure and low pressure inside his field, this is where his ego is resting, is he highly competitive and forward, is he more back and relaxed, and so forth. You get to feel these things, then you can work with them and influence them. You can only influence what you feel. Make sure your body mechanics are in the right state. Make sure your sensitivity is there. Ensure that you do all the preconditions for success so that when you train with your partner, you get success. If you don't break these things down in your journal, analyze them, understand them, and tick all the boxes, it's going to be a long journey. And we know that because 1 in every 1,000 people or less get success at this. It's because they're not breaking down the preconditions for success. Clearly understand what you need first, and then when you do it, you're successful. It's very, very straightforward. Okay, thanks for your time. If you want more of this content, have a look at my Vimeo channel. I break down all the keys to success in those lessons on the channel. Between the 3 channels, I think there's over 1,000 videos now, so there's a lot of content there. Thank you for your time, and see you on the next video.